Thank you guys for being here today. I'm here today to express my concerns regarding the manner in which the absentee ballots for the Indian River County were prepared. Specifically, there is a pronounced mark and obvious indentation close to or directly on the location designated to cast a vote for Leslie Swan in the Supervisor of Elections race. The deep indentation creates a raised line and a crease which would appear to be a vote cast for Swan. At a minimum, this raises an appearance of impropriety. I find it curious, to put it mildly, that this defect in the absentee ballot would appear to benefit the appointed Supervisor of Elections, Leslie Swan, especially when she is the one preparing and approving the ballot layout. At best, the formatting of the ballot by Leslie Swan reflects incompetence. At worst, it's an intentional act. My campaign is in the process of evaluating the legal implications of this issue, and we plan to pursue every alternative, including a manual recount, to ensure that this election is lawful and fair. My priority is to make sure that every vote is accurately counted, and my concern is for the ultimate victim, the voter, who risks not having their vote counted. Rather than utilize a ballot which has the potential to be thrown out, I encourage voters in Indian River County who have not already voted their absentee ballot to return it to the Supervisor of Elections office and instead vote during early voting or on election day. I don't plan to take any questions at this time. We do have a prepared press release with a copy of this ballot. I will defer questions to our communication director, Jim Harpring. We do have Kathy Hart here and Julie Blair, who also have, I think, a total of 5 other ballots. If any of you want to take a look at those ballots to compare them, you are more than welcome to do that.
The question that was posed was, what exactly is wrong with the ballot? What we've seen historically in other races, specifically a 2008 race in Palm Beach County, is that in this particular ballot, the crease mark on the folding on the absentee ballot, not just on this ballot, but on many other ballots that have been sent out and that we've been made aware of, falls directly across what is sometimes referred to as the strike zone, or the area in which is designated to vote for a particular candidate. And as you can see in this particular race, the mark or the crease that goes across that strike zone or that name is across the name of the Supervisor of Elections, who is responsible for preparing and approving and distributing these absentee ballots.
So ultimately, what happens if there's a crease and it goes through the machine?
Well, history has told us that if there is a crease across the strike zone, it could be read as a vote, and that has a couple of ramifications. One, if no vote was cast in this particular race, then the crease across the strike zone could be counted as an actual vote for that particular candidate. Secondly, if there is a vote cast for the other candidate and the crease goes across the strike zone in the second candidate's name, then that crease could be counted as a vote as well, and the scanners could read that as an overvote and completely disregard it. Of very great concern to us is a situation where a voter decides not to vote in that particular race at all. Then at that point in time, if the crease were to read, if the optical scanner were to read the crease as a vote, then in an election where the voter chose not to vote in that race, the crease would be read on the scanner as a vote, and no one would ever know that that was in fact not a vote that was cast, and that would result in fraudulent and unfair election results.
What has happened when you brought this to the attention of the Supervisor of Elections?
We have not heard yet from the Supervisor of Elections. At this time, we wanted to get the information out to the voters first and foremost. We would hope that the Supervisor of Elections would have some response to this particular issue that we've brought up, but we'll have to wait and see. As candidate Sandi Harpring has indicated, we're still evaluating all the legal options. We're still making further inquiries towards the manufacturer and other inquiries of a legal and procedural nature in this regard.
Well,
but they're already out.
Earlier, she didn't say that you talked to her about this.
We called her office yesterday and she was unavailable. We called to talk about a number of issues, including asking the individual who answered the phone about who was on the canvassing board, and they were unable to respond to that question and simply referred us to Ms. Swan, and we have not heard back from her at this point in time.
But these ballots are out.
Yes. In
So it's
fact,
too late.
as of this morning, I believe that over 1,600 absentee ballots have been returned to the Supervisor of Elections office as of today.
What's your take on this? I mean, do you think that it was intentional or just, you know, an unfortunate circumstance?
Well, as Sandi Harpring indicated, at worst, we believe it's incompetence based on the fact that there is a history of this particular issue in elections in the state of Florida, in Palm Beach County, with these particular machines and with this type of ballot. Other than that, one could only speculate, and I can't read into the mind of someone else.